Okay, today I'll be figuring out the ultimate build for a Cleric. I have not played the Cleric before, nor do I have any knowledge about what the Cleric does. So I'm basically going in blind, and I'll guide you through my thought process of how to figure out this hero. Let's go. There we go. Okay, so first of all, I need to check what the main ability even is. It's a shit ton of damage, that's what it is. It has a fairly slow attack speed, has range and area size that is influenced by. It does have projectiles, does not have any piercing, not sure what that's supposed to mean. I guess that it only hits one target max. Does not have any crit chance, does not have any crit bonus. Also not sure if you can be taking that. So it looks like a cone. And has an extremely weird attack sequence. Looks like the second attack is doubled in damage for the compared to the first. Attack speed seems to be really strong here, considering crit doesn't do anything, or potentially doesn't do anything. I'm gonna set the attack to auto, so I don't have to pay attention to that. Duration doesn't seem to be influencing it at all. So these are all useless. I'll go for pickup range. Okay, so the damage is very inconsistent. Strength is always good. Let's get the... I don't want these, dang it. I think one of the strongest is the Phantom Needles or the... What's the name? Wait, does it do more damage based on... Yes, the damage is divided over the people it hits, it seems. Range should be good. Yeah, clearly damage is divided. The more you hit, the less damage you do, which means it is really strong for a single target and fairly good for multiple targets as well. Again, I prefer attack speed, although in this case, normally I prefer attack speed because I'd rather do like 1,000,000 hits of 1 damage than one big hit of 1,000,000 damage, because if the target only has 100 health anyway, then a lot would be wasted. Well, if you have a lot of multiple attacks, there's no damage wasted. But in this case, all damage is split over whatever you hit anyway. So the 20% damage should be a lot better than the attack speed. Let's just slowly make our way to the other ability, while still smacking some skellies. Again, attack speed, I could have a look at Ruthlessness, but I prefer to try and get a crit chance up before I do critical hit damage. The area and cone size is pretty nice as well, just means you hit more targets. Does mean your damage is more divided again, but again you hit more targets, so it shouldn't technically matter. Let's go for the attack speed, because that is a lot better for the different abilities as well. Okay, so shields are pretty shit, because it doesn't matter how much damage you do to it, it always counts as 1 life. 20% damage for 30% range. That feels like a trade-off that might be worth it, as long as the cone stays at the same size. But you still... it doesn't really seem like it. Oh well. Honestly, still not sure how the damage is calculated, considering on... What's this? Berserker's Rage, temporary attack speed from Berserker's Rage, 100% attack speed, okay, cool. The 666 damage is... Seems a bit too coincidental that it is actually that, but the double number is clearly double of that anyway. Let's see how hard we smack the boss if it's solo. Wow, that's it. That's insane. Transfixion, that's the one. That's one of the strongest abilities next to the Phantom Needles. Okay, we'll go for 10% damage. That's just good for everything. Apparently I picked up a hand, so that's nice. Bit of leftover experience coming to me. I'll have to go for Lightning Strikes. The rest is kind of useless. I want to see if I can get a crit chance and see if it actually increases the crit chance of this ability. There we go, Phantom Needles. That's 2 of the best abilities picked up. Yeah, now I can probably stand still for a while. Just farm as many mobs as I can. And level up a bit. There we go, Cunning Technique. 5% increased crit chance. And yes, this ability does take crit chance. But by default, it does not have any crit bonus. That means it needs to work from the ground up. Which means if it crits now, it does exactly the same amount of damage as a normal attack does, while normally it is 100% extra by default. Which means it takes a lot longer before it's actually worth it. I can take more range since I dropped a bit of range for the trade-off. Honestly, I'm not sure what's better, to chase the monsters or just stand still and wait for them to come to you. Just like you get bigger groups if you actually chase them. Neither of those are useful, so we'll go for the Phantom Needles. Yeah, we can start getting crit damage, or... well, none of the others are useful anyway. The on-hit chance is nice, but I don't have that much on-hit chances anyway, so it doesn't really reflect too much damage. So now our main attack... oh, our main attack does not get any crit bonus at all. Did I go for crit bonus? I did go for crit bonus, right? Yes, plus 20% crit bonus. Okay, so that is based on the base, and the base is 0, meaning 20% of 0 is still 0. So crit chance and crit bonus on this character are a lot less useful, unless you don't make use of your main skill. It's good to know. So that means attack speed, attack range, size is way more strong. Duration, I don't think any of this has any kind of duration. We'll just go for movement speed. Additional projectiles and area is always useful, or just 10% damage in general. I'm gonna go for the projectiles, because the damage will show up eventually anyway. 50% attack speed for the main weapon, that sounds really strong. Stick with that. Attack speed is generally stronger than attack damage. Because if you do twice as much attacks... actually, I guess that doesn't count for this character, because the damage is usually based on the base attack damage. Like if your base attack damage is 50 and you get 10% more damage, you do 55 damage. Piercing is useless for this main ability, but it's very useful for the Transfixion and Phantom Needles. But to stick with the main character abilities, I'll just go for the strength. Yeah, what I was saying, if your character does hits of 100 damage and you get a 10%... wow, that was quick. Get a 10% damage upgrade, it does not automatically mean it does 110 damage then, because the base could be lower. Physical, I'm not sure if I do physical attacks with my main ability, but it's the only slot I don't have. Can I see that? It does not show what damage type my main weapon is, so I'm not sure, but I assume it's magical. But I'm pretty sure the Phantom Needles and Transfixion is physical? Not sure. Attack speed, sure. So yeah, crit is useless for the main ability, but it is not useless for Transfixion and Phantom Needles. So I still mostly one-shot everything. Let's not go over crit chance. Again, piercing is nice for the abilities, but does not do anything for our main attack. But considering the rest doesn't do either, I would imagine this is the best option. Yeah, damage still basically one-shotting most of the things, except when I really grab big groups, but considering it's 2 attacks in a row, it usually still kills them quickly anyway. So now you have a choice between damage and attack speed. I would go for attack speed. Again, rather do 2 attacks that deal 50 damage than 1 attack that deals 100 damage. Because if the enemy has less than 100 health, then that is a waste of damage. For information, I have the Wind Crown and Scars of Toil items. Let's see, we have range, crit, or size. I do believe the size is pretty nice, because it's it affects most of my current abilities. Like lightning and Transfixion, not sure about the Phantom Needles. I imagine this character shines a lot more with great hordes of enemies, but I guess most of them do. I think the best option here is the lightning strikes, considering the rest is near useless, unless I want to start collecting crit for the other abilities, which I prefer to avoid, considering it doesn't do anything for the main ability. So now we have Shieldos, which is probably our weakest target. As in, we first need to break the shield, but since we do 2 attacks in a row, on first attack, it should break the shield. But you can already see that they get a lot closer. This is kind of our weakness, and we're actually getting hit now. Need to find good positioning now. Kind of dance around them. This is all fairly useless. Let's go for the range to single out the casters. It's likely that I can just walk in a straight line and nothing in front of me will ever survive. Let's go for attack speed, because that is beneficial to literally everything we have. It's still very doable though. Just worried about the second wave of skeletons with shield that comes near the end. But I imagine by that time we are a lot stronger. We have a lot more attack speed, which helps a lot then. Point for attack for the main weapon, which means every 2.5 hits you'll get an additional hit. That sounds pretty strong. There you go, sometimes you see a triple attack. Yeah, it works well versus the shields as well. Let's go and grab some experience. We do not need on hit chance. We can go for the multi-hit, 10%. We're currently at 2.4 if I'm not wrong. 10% of that is 0.24, so that's another quarter attack. Yes, let's see if I was correct. We now have, yes, 2.6 for projectiles. Means the triple attack should happen more often. That was some experience. We can still slowly walk to the other hand as well. You can actually do that while the waves are building up. Attack speed for transfixion is pretty strong. You can also see that the transfixion occasionally has 3 instead of 2. In fact, it has 3 more often than 2. I'm gonna slowly walk to the hand. I even encounter one on the way. These things are also not nice. Okay, let's just quickly get rid of the boss. Ow. There we go. Dragon's Breath is nice, because a lot of the bonuses I take are also applicable to this one. And I don't really like the other 2 anyway. Crit is no-go, so these are all fairly useless, so I'll go for the crit since the other ones are defensive. I'll just smack some boxes while I move up, in case I find a hand there. And some food doesn't hurt. 20% more damage for the needles. I'm not entirely sure how big of a difference these 2 is, so I'll just go for the flat damage. Could have gone for the crit damage increase in general, but I'm pretty low on crit already. Prefer to skip it if I can. Do 1.5 million damage in one run, sure. I'm guessing over damage, overkill damage also counts towards that. Reach level 30, sure. 20% burn chance is pretty decent, but I wouldn't count on it, so I'll just go for the 10% damage in general. Because it's pretty hard, I imagine it's pretty hard to stack burn with the waves since they are fairly slow. And we're up to the doggos. We're pretty close to the hand, so that's nice. And we have another attack speed. I'll just quickly walk to the hand and then farm some mobs there for some levels. Let's see, what do we have? We have the burn chance again, but I prefer additional walls and additional area. Because the flame walls have a piercing of like 1,000, so they basically hit everything anyway. So it's better to have him travel further and cover a large area. Where's my hand at? Feels like I'm wasting a lot of experience like this, considering there's waves of enemies following me that basically don't get attacked at all. I'd rather kind of stand still. But hey, we do need the hand, because there's so much experience just spread over the map still. Attack speed on the wall sounds cool. or we can have more lightning, but it does 20% minus crit damage. I think I'm gonna go for the lightning, because it feels like a good trade-off. And lightning actually does a fair bit of damage, especially if it crits. Maybe we do have a low crit chance built currently. That's always the default chance. Okay, there we go. Now we can kind of stand still. Additional projectiles and area. That is beneficial for single target a bit as well. Because you can have nice AoE, but then you're not gonna do anything against the end boss. Some range, sure, by lack of other better options. Again, we'll have to go for the lightning strikes because the rest is defensive. Attack speed is always nice. Piercing is nice, but again, versus one single target is useless. We'll go for the attack speed. And the range and size on the wave is also nice. Once again, not for single target. Well, we don't really have any offensive options other than piercing, so I'll have to go for piercing. Kill this boss quickly. Yeah, I don't think we have any problem killing the last boss like this. Let's see what we get. Hopefully a ring. Not useful. That is definitely not useful. For attack speed. What I'm gonna do is put these gloves in my... I can also click these, can I? This is what I have now. Your inventory is already occupied with the following items. Sure, just put them in my bag. And then we will put these in my bag and equip these again. Because attack speed, way better than pickup range. Pickup range can be pretty big. Oh, that's a nice new hand. Pickup range can be very nice in combination with some of the items that increases your damage based on who is in your pickup range. General attack speed 8% counts for everything, or 15% attack speed for just the waves. I'll go for 8% in general. I'll save the hand for in like 10 minutes or so. No need at all to get it now. We don't accidentally grab it. A defense, crit, duration, or defense. That's all defensive, so I'll just go for the crit damage, because at least that's useful for several abilities. Let's just double check. I do have a crit chance now, but I have no crit bonus at all. Ever. But my other abilities do get it, yeah. That's cool. That's cool indeed. Yeah, it doesn't really seem like an issue anymore. I basically one-shot everything. Attack speed in general for the Phantom Needles. 11% chance to trigger on hit effects. The only on-hit effects we have is from the wave, although Fragile is there as well. Ah, we also have Electrify. 11% chance. We don't have that quick of an attack speed. I don't think this is useful. I'll go for the attack speed on the Phantom Needles, because I know for sure that that is useful. Phantom Needles is likely to be the most damaging ability. Either that or the Transfixion. And see at the end of the run. Although obviously the main attack will pump them all. It's just insane damage it does. It's like 3k per second, so at least like 1500 DPS. Doesn't sound too much actually, I've had way more. 22% chance to trigger hit effects. Now that does get more interesting, especially because the other abilities are not that great. So there is a 1 in 5 chance to trigger... Does it trigger all the on-hit effects? Because all of them is pretty sick. Let's go for it. That's good actually. Might even be able to upgrade it even higher. Okay, new waves are gonna spawn. Let's try and catch some experience. Oh yeah, here we go, some more shields. Which don't seem to be a problem anymore. Oh, you need to be careful of the shooting casters. Because I suck at dodging. Too much shit on the screen. They are closing in. Well, this is the only offensive option. This is getting kind of scary, to be honest. Need to find myself from... Okay, I'm gonna go to manual attack. So I can create myself a path. We'll have to go for flammability, because everything else is less useful. Okay, so now I can also aim the waves, which clears me a path and secures my life. Don't walk into the mobs anyway. We'll have to go for crit, because again, the others are not offensive. And crit does still count for the other attacks. Yeah, that's a bit better. Ouch, still getting hit by the casters. That's not nice. We'll have to kill some barrels. I would normally never consider this, but I actually am considering it now, since we already have multiple things that also trigger the on-hit. Increase the chance to trigger effect that happens when an enemy is hit. But does that count for... I think this only counts for this specific ability, so I'm not gonna skip it. Damage and crit damage minus stun range. Stun range I don't really care too much about. Let's go for that then. I'm gonna try and find some barrels, see if I can get some healing. Because the hand will be shown anyway, so I know where it is. Your hand is shown. Healing please. That's not healing. Still need to go grab experience as well. And again, there's still the hunt. Here you go. There we go, some healing at least. Attack speed is nice, we can clean up some waves. Oh, look at that, delicious. What do we have? General attack speed or more flame walls and more ability, more range area even. Attack speed, because that's just as good for multiple enemies as it is for single target. Let's try and not get hit by this guy too much. Ow. There we go. Dragon's Breath knocks back enemies, or if needles could still hit more enemies when the maximum range is reached, they deal their remaining damage as magic damage in an area around them. I'm not entirely sure if the needles still hit. The knockback is pretty decent, but it doesn't increase my damage at all, so I'll just go for this one. Here we go again, in search of some healing. Actually surprised by how sturdy the Cleric is without any defensive abilities. There we go, potion. That is a very nice one. Brings us to about half health. What do we have? We'll go for the crit, since everything else is less useful. I'll slowly make my way back to the hand, but exploring new terrain. For some extra healing. Wow, the flame waves can be so huge now. There we go, some carrots. Why not? What if you need healing, but you just aren't hungry? There we go, what's next? Slimes again. Area does help right now, but does not help for single targets. We'll go for the needle damage. There we go, big slimes. It seems like... What is the 2k crits? Might be lightning. No idea. Or it might be my main ability. It just shows up as a crit even though it doesn't do any additional damage. Ooh, scary. Good thing I am firing manually. What do we have? Well, the rest is useless. No, not useless. It just isn't offensive. Offense is the best defense or something like that. Sure, now let's go for some attack speed, is it? Negates all damage, yeah, sure. Means I can really climb in there, just have to keep in mind that it runs out. No. When does the Lich spawn? Attack speed, sure. Look at the lightning attack speed. It's almost as if it's like lightning quick. Is there more skellies after this? Can't remember. It is dogs. Oh, the Lich should be dead soon enough. Just need to Make sure I survive it. There you go. Every 5 seconds you perform a war cry which weakens enemies in its range for 5 seconds, adding 3 stacks of fragile to them. When you do not use your main ability, which I will, none of these are too useful. Let me put these in my bags and I'll take these. And then we switch them around again, and then I can walk to the bucket and put these gloves in the bucket. Might be nice. Let's go for crit for the other abilities and make my way to the bucket. For those that are unaware of what the bucket is, once per run you can put an item in there, and for some reason then you have to purchase it from the guy upstairs, but then you can use it for all of your characters all the time instead of them being only for that run. But of course you will lose it for this current run. So usually I just toss an item in the box near the end, so it doesn't affect me too much. But right now I'm not making use of those items anyway, so I'll toss in, was it gloves that I found? Because they can be useful for other builds. There's some healing. Yeah, let's get a pretty full here. Back to auto attacking. After I put it in a bucket, I'll go to the hand, and by that time it should be close to end. I really wonder if I can manage the last boss like this. 10% damage in general. Damage in general. Let's kill this guy, get some more monies. There you go. Oh, well, that also works. There was a hand in that box. Okay, so these will go up. There you go. Some levels from all the exp on hit. I don't care for the other one, so I'll have to go for this one. Attack speed, nice. And more Dragon's Breath, sure. Crit chance, stun range, but minus attack speed. I prefer the attack speed on the Phantom Needles. 50% on crit chance. I assume that means when it crits it has a 50% chance to apply more stacks. Or we go for range and area. They're all kind of shitty for single target. I think I should be focusing on single target from this point onwards. This one is the only one that technically could be useful for single target. And we're back to skellies. Additional projectiles is super good for single target as well. Yeah, you can really see that this character actually does struggle quite a bit with multiple targets because of the damage reduction per target. But as long as you have enough space, you'll be fine. Keep hitting in the same direction, then you can clear a path. Wow, this is all defensive. Well, I guess this is a bit of both. I can make my way to the other end. Ow. See if we can level 60. There we go. What do we have? Attack speed for the Dragon's Breath, which is good for AoE and single target. Wow, it seems like I hit so many targets there that the damage was reduced to like 2. If I saw it correctly? No, that should be impossible. Here's another gold slime. There you go. It's not that much gold, but everything helps. Okay, this wave seems to be done. Let's clear it up before I push it out of screen and it despawns. And then we can make our way to the hand once again. I wonder if the slimes, when you kill them and they split up, the new slimes are like immune for a second or so. Well, probably not a second, half a second. Because that is pretty dangerous. Burn chance. Burn chance is not bad for a single target, I guess. Because range is not gonna help at all. Finding a lot of potions now that I don't really need it. But I'm not complaining. Yeah, you really miss out on a lot of experiences if you just constantly move. But I think we're fine anyway, level-wise. Oh, another slime. It's like the 4th. There we go. Like 100 gold maybe. Probably gonna get a lot of gold after this level, considering a lot of achievements. Cheese, why not? Wait, where'd the hand go? Oh. It's in the chest? That's odd. Oh well. Okay, so now I'm probably gonna mostly be standing still or doing small circles. So I clear as much as possible. What do we have? Crit chance and stun range, but minus attack speed. I don't think that's a damage increase for a single target. Because the stun range is useless. The crit chance. Let's go for it. Considering lightning actually does a lot of damage, so the crit increases it by even more. Well, there we go, more crit. Yeah, I just need to be sure I don't stand in the poison all too much. That will be fine. 2 more minutes left. Kinda scared about the last few waves though. Because there will be a lot of enemies. And that's not exactly my forte. Although if it really comes to it, we can just run from it. Crit chance and crit damage, or attack speed. Yeah, I guess they're both pretty nice. I'll go for transfixion, crit chance, and crit damage. Normally I would have picked the attack speed, but considering we're just purely focusing on single target right now, I think the crit chance plus crit damage is more beneficial. Oof, it's getting spicy in here. I'll switch to manual. Clear myself a path. And stay alive, because I like staying alive. 1.5 million damage with lightning strike for more gold. 40 seconds. I need to try and get rid of the casters, because it's really hard to see their projectiles like this. Not gonna bother with the experience anymore. I mean, it would be nice if I found a hand, but no need. I'm not gonna get much stronger anyway. Just straight up damage, why not? Yeah, let's try and navigate through the poison. Oof, that got me some life. 6 seconds, yeah, should be fine. Okay, here we go. Let's try and stay as close as possible. Yeah, more than enough damage. Ouch. If I stay alive, that is. Gonna take a bit more range from this guy. Ow. Okay, a bit more range. Considering his waves are fairly hard to dodge. Okay, that was fairly easy. Nice. Well, that's it. That's how you play Cleric, I guess. First try, but pretty obvious on how to use it. Wow, lightning did actually do a lot as well. We have the Phantom Needles doing the most damage. After that is actually the lightning. Then my basic attack. Then we have the transfixion. And then we have the waves. And then we have some general lightning burn. And not sure what that ring is then. Yeah, cool. That's how I learned to play Cleric. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching.